In this video, we're going to talk about which deltas you should use. Let's jump into it. So picking the right deltas are extremely important. If you remember what delta is, delta measures the change in the options price for each $1 increase in the underlying's price. Now the underlying, again, this is just the stock or the ETF that you're trading. So deltas are actually a proxy that determine the probability of whether a stock is going to be in the money. All that means is if there's an option with a 0.5 delta, this means there is a 50% chance the stock is going to be in the money at the expiration date. Similarly, if there's a delta at 0.25, this means there is a 25% chance the stock is going to be in the money at expiration date. So using this, you can decide to be less aggressive or more aggressive. So even though deltas go all the way up to 1, that means it's 100% in the money. So for each dollar's change in a stock price, the option changes by $1 as well. But there's no time value at that point. And because we're option sellers, we rely on theta, which is time decay, to basically make our money and get that statistical edge. So even though a delta of 1 is deep in the money, there's no statistical advantage in being an option seller there because there's no theta, there's no extrinsic value. And theta and extrinsic value is basically where we make money as option sellers. That's our statistical edge. And so on the more aggressive scale side, I like to put 0.5 on this edge just because this means it's a coin flip, right? There's a 50% chance that you're going to get assigned. There's a 50% chance you're going to keep the money. That's on the more aggressive side. On the less aggressive side, I like doing 0.15. I think this is a good spot. This means there's a 15% chance that the stock is going to be in the money. That means there's an 85% chance that you're not going to get assigned. That means you can just continually collect this premium over and over again, and you only have a 15% chance of getting assigned. Between the 15 and 50 delta, I find the sweet spot to be kind of at the max of 0.3 delta. So if you sell options between the 15 delta and 0.3 delta, there is a 15 to 30% chance you'll get assigned, which means there is a 70 to 85% chance the option will be out of the money at expiration, which means there's a 70 to 80% chance that you will not get assigned and you will get to keep that entire premium. Now, you may naturally be asking, why don't I sell the 0.03 or 0.01 delta? This basically is like a 97% chance of profit or a 99% chance of profit. The reason is, even though these high profit numbers seem great, the amount of premium you're actually generating from these deltas are not that much. And so actually risk adjusted returns wise, you're actually going to be losing a lot of money by selling these, not even from an opportunity cost, but just if it does actually happen, let's say you do actually hit that 1% of it actually happening, the amount of premium you collect does not justify the risk. And so because of that, it makes sense to give up a little bit of the safety to collect more premium. So that way, when these deltas do go in the money, you are still going to be okay because you collected a good amount of premium to justify the risk. So I don't recommend trading the lower deltas. I personally like trading the 15 to 30 deltas. All right, so we're going to zoom in on that scale just a little bit more for a little bit more clarity. So we have the 15 delta here, and we have the 30 delta here. Again, you can choose the upper and lower bounds however you feel fit. This is just what I personally trade. I've gotten success using this, but however you want to trade, 100% up to you. Based on where you are in the option wheel strategy or whatever you want to do, if you want to get assigned on your security, you would trade at a higher delta. But if you don't want to get assigned, you would trade a lower delta. Think of it like a sliding scale between 15 and 30. And again, based on how much you want to get assigned and how little you want to get assigned, you could always go back further deltas in either way. And so this is just during normal course of business, but if you're like, I want to sell this stock at this price no matter what, then you could sell it at a 50 delta if you want, or even go up to 70 delta, however you like. The deeper in the money, again, there's no real statistical advantage in doing that, so I'd probably cap it at 50 to 55 delta based on trade urgency and the price you want to execute at. So for me, I personally like doing the 20 to 25 delta, but based on what's really happening, I extend to the 15, 30. So this is actually me stretching it out, but 20 to 25 delta is usually a good spot for me. But again, it really depends on what you want to do. So based on the sliding scale, that's what I personally do. So what I'd recommend is pick a number that you're comfortable with so you can make this a very consistent habit, because instead of thinking of, oh, do I want to do this or do this, it just creates too many barriers and it almost makes it another job. The whole point is to pick a number. I think 25 delta is a great place, or if you want to be a little bit more conservative, maybe 20 delta. I think that's a great place to just kind of cement it. So no matter what happens, you're always trading the 20 delta. Awesome. I'll see you in the next video.